In this video, we're going to take a look at the options you have to resolve disputes as co-parents in a divorce relationship. These disputes are the ones that happen regarding the parenting plan or regarding transfers and exchanges. It could even be regarding child support or other issues. And if you believe that you are unable to resolve these disputes directly and cooperatively with your ex and would need some third person to come in who's neutral and unbiased to help you not only communicate better, but also get resolution on these disputes on an ongoing basis, then these two are options that you could consider. These are two professionals that we're going to be talking about. They can either be appointed by agreement between you and your ex, or they could be appointed by the court. The first option is a co-parenting psychotherapist. In many states, that's what it's called. In many other states, it could be called co-parenting moderator or co-parenting mediator. It could be called different things, but basically, this person is either appointed by the court or agreed to between you and your ex to sit in between the two of you as a moderator to moderate all communication. And that's how they enable the two of you to communicate better and also resolve disputes as they see them come up in the communication. The way it is done is that, first of all, the co-parenting psychotherapist requires that the two of you limit all communication to email, which means that no phone calls, no text messages, and no in-person meetings. You could, of course, meet in person to exchange the child or children, but there is going to be no meaningful conversation or dispute resolution other than over email. If all communication is limited to email, then the parties include this co-parenting psychotherapist in all the email. So when you sign the agreement or the court appoints the co-parenting psychotherapist, they have a set of rules on how to communicate. For example, one of the rules might be that an email may not be more than 100 words long. Another rule could be that you may not use insulting words or demeaning words or words that appear to be attacking or offensive. You may not use any of those words. And because this person is being CC'd on all the email, this person is then watching and moderating the communication as it goes along. This is very helpful in those cases where you and your ex are unable to communicate respectfully or just have trouble communicating, and there's a lot of offensive language or just a lot of language that appears to be attacking as opposed to cooperatively working together. If that is the case, then this particular professional is going to be very helpful because they're going to enable the two of you to communicate respectfully and cooperatively with each other. And you do that by including this person in all email. Um, then the other thing that the psychotherapist does is as issues come along, they then look at the parenting plan, look at the court orders that exist, and using that, they're able to suggest resolutions and they're able to actively negotiate between the two of you to enable you to arrive at a common ground. That is also one of their skill set, that they can negotiate with the two of you so that you can arrive at a reasonable resolution to your dispute in accordance with the court orders. To be able to do this effectively, the co-parenting psychotherapist needs to have some qualifications. The most important qualification in this case, in my opinion, is the psychology degree. If they have a psychology degree, they'll be able to understand how to effectively enable you to communicate with each other. This is kind of like a therapy. They're most likely a therapist, and they're going to be involved in relationship improvement therapy, or just, it's not necessarily divorced parents, but even parents who are not divorced. Their job and their qualifications would be very much aligned with improving relationships from a psychological perspective, from a therapeutic perspective between parents. And very often this person will be practicing as a therapist in general and also for relationships, and also for co-parenting psychotherapy between divorced parents. This person is also expected to have a law degree or legal knowledge or legal experience, because they need to be able to look at the court orders and align any dispute resolution they're engaging in with the court orders. It is very important that anything that the two of you agree to in the end, with the help of this co-parenting psychotherapist, it is very important that that aligns with the court orders. Otherwise, it will not be effective and it will not be enforceable. Therefore, this co-parenting psychotherapist has to have legal knowledge, or preferably a law degree, so that they can enable the two of you to understand the court orders and arrive at decisions and agreements which align with the court orders. The expected outcome is, first and foremost, the expected outcome of this process is to get the two of you to a point where you can cooperatively engage in dispute resolution yourself. In other words, this person is expected to help the two of you get to a point where you don't need this person to be able to communicate cooperatively. Today, you might not be able to do that because today your communication is bad and you're unable to cooperatively negotiate. But with the help of this person, with the help of the therapeutic process that this person will engage the two of you in, it is expected that you will be able to reach a point where the two of you can just communicate yourself. So that's a very important expected outcome. But as you are doing that, as you are getting better, there'll still be ongoing disputes that you will need help with, and then this person will enable the two of you to arrive at resolutions of these disputes on an ongoing basis with their help. So on an ongoing basis, this person will be sitting there, essentially virtually sitting there in between the two of you via email, and be able to just help you arrive at resolutions to disputes on an ongoing basis. Many times, particularly in the beginning, in very high conflict situations, it is just not possible for the two of you to come up with any kind of resolution at all, even with the help of this person. In that case, usually this person would just refer the matter to arbitration. This person will say, well, I've tried to enable the two of them to arrive at a resolution for this dispute using my knowledge and experience and using my procedure, but they just haven't been able to. Therefore, I'm declaring an impasse, and the matter is then referred to arbitration, because an arbitrator is able to come out with a ruling that is similar to a lower court ruling, which means that there needs to be no agreement. The arbitrator will simply come out with the ruling. So in this case, in those very rare cases where this co-parenting psychotherapist is unable to help you arrive at a mutual agreement via email, via negotiation over email, this person can refer the matter to arbitration. The second option is the case manager. The way it works with the case manager is this. Again, this is either an agreed appointment or a court appointed case manager. This person has authority to make decisions on disputes. This is very different from the co-parenting psychotherapist, who doesn't have the authority to make decisions. The co-parenting psychotherapist only enables you to arrive at an agreement. A case manager, on the other hand, has the authority given to them to make decisions on ongoing disputes. The parties engage the case manager when there's a dispute, when they're unable to resolve a certain disagreement regarding parenting or regarding the parenting plan, regarding any of the court orders, and the parties then engage the case manager. The case manager then just rules on each dispute. The case manager looks at the court orders, looks at both parties' arguments, and they just immediately rule on it. This is very much like arbitration, where both parties present arguments, but arbitration is a more formal process where the two parties will gather evidence and present a formal set of pleadings, and then the arbitrator comes out with a ruling on a significant topic. In this case, the case manager looks at just a very minor dispute. For example, it's Tuesday and Friday is the day of exchange of the kids, and there's a dispute over the time or the place where the exchange will happen. Then this case manager will come in, look at the court orders, look at the situation, and then decide that on Friday this is the time and place where transfer is going to happen. So case manager is more about the little ongoing issues and not so much about the big issues. The case manager's qualifications, it is it is expected that they are either an attorney or a former attorney or have some kind of good experience in the law, because they need to really be able to understand the court orders and be able to understand the statutes and have to align their rulings in accordance with the court orders, right? It is also expected that they have parenting and psychology knowledge, because a lot of these issues are not just always about court orders, or also about parenting, about what is in the best interest of the child. Many times when there's a dispute, it is because the court orders are not clear. There is some ambiguity in the court orders. So their decision has to be based not only on whatever the court orders say, but also be made in such a way that they're able to fill the gaps that are left out. And in doing that, they have to be able to think from the best interest of the child's perspective. So they need to have a good working knowledge of parenting and psychology to be able to be effective at their job. The expected outcome is just ongoing, legally binding dispute resolution, which means that for little things, this person will just keep on coming out with rulings. On Friday, this is the place and time, or on on this date, this is the person who gets the vacation, and this is the person who gets the phone call, right? So things like that, they'll be able to ongoing on an ongoing basis, they're able to resolve disputes. That's the expected outcome. I hope this video was useful. I hope this helped you understand the options you have to enable ongoing dispute resolution, and maybe also improve communication with your ex, because that is always going to be great for the child. This is not a substitute for legal advice. It is always a good idea to consult with an attorney before proceeding with any legal action. If you believe this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified of new videos that come out. Thank you, and I wish you well.